You know, as we get going here, I should probably be asleep. I was up since 5 a.m. Went to the dentist for a crazy amount of tooth pain. Only to then hear, hey, guess what? It might be a better idea to just pull this goddamn tooth. So that's what happened. That's what happened. Your boy went to the dentist today. He got his goddamn tooth pulled and feels fine. That's a bad sign. It's a bad sign when you get a tooth pulled and you feel better after you get it pulled than before you did. Shout out to the U.S. healthcare system. But that said, I couldn't quite go to bed because I had a feeling that tonight was gonna be a good night, and here we are. Now, if I put this up on, I'm sure this will be a little bit of a rant. If I put this up on YouTube, you know I gotta give it a spicy title, right? Gonna have to give it a real spicy title. Because Twitter has been a very spicy platform tonight. A very spicy platform. I want to talk first about the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then we'll talk about Montreal, because who doesn't want to hear from a Bruins fan right now? You know, screw talking about Vladimir Tarasenko requesting a trade. Deej and I will talk about that on the podcast this Friday. Screw talking about the officials again. Deej and I will talk more about that on Friday. Screw talking about how CM Punk is no longer 0-2 in the UFC. We might talk about that on Friday. To certain Tampa Bay Lightning fans, and I say certain because it's someone like this guy, right? Someone like this guy, where I am still getting messages on a daily basis for my video last September where I correctly called the Tampa Bay Lightning a disgrace to hockey. And it's gonna be people like this guy who are like, well, what are you gonna say now? I am still correct. Holding a parade during the middle of a pandemic was one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen. Sorry, it was. Tampa holding a parade this year, knock yourselves out. You know what the difference is? There's fucking vaccines now. So shout out to dumbasses like this that continue to give my channel attention, my slowly dying YouTube channel, because NHL 21's been dead for me for months thanks to them deleting my custom roster. So thanks for that.
Fanboy. The man was a fanboy.
Without mentioning that. So yeah, you know, in terms of Tampa winning, at any possible time, I have defended the Lightning in terms of being over the cap, right? At any possible time, I defended the Lightning because I don't think it's a big deal. I don't. Tampa Bay Lightning have a sick team. They didn't break any rules. Tampa Bay, best team in hockey 2 years in a row. Win the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row. Sweet. No complaints. Obviously. I mean, I think for everybody, it's like, I would have preferred my team to win. Tampa's the best goddamn team in hockey. They won. In terms of what happens to them next, I'm sure Deej and I will get more into it on the Friday podcast, because there is a decent amount to digest with how over the cap they've been. We've actually alluded towards that. They're going to have a little bit of trouble keeping the band together. Shout out to half of the Lightning team that will end up in Seattle, probably. It's the only thing that I can predict. But, yeah. Hell of a run for Tampa. Do they make it 3 in a row? Good luck. Good luck, especially with key pieces like Goodrow, Coleman, both UFAs. Good luck. But we'll see what happens. Now's the real test for Julien Brisebois. As if there wasn't a test before where it's like, hey, take the keys to this car and don't crash it. People act like taking the keys to a fucking Lamborghini and just driving it is the easiest thing in the world. You still gotta know how to properly maintain a fucking Lambo. Julien Brisebois does. So again, for Tampa, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to digest, but the bottom line is that the best goddamn team in hockey. And if people want to celebrate a parade this year, go ahead. Vaccines fucking exist, unlike last year. But shout out to those people who keep talking shit on YouTube and thinking that they're getting a one-up on me when really all they do is keep my channel relevant. So thank you. Thank you. How's it legal for a team to be 20 million over the cap? It's because of the playoffs. It's the way the fucking rules are written, man. It's what it is. It's just the way the rules are written. Shout out to the playoffs and it technically being a slightly different time frame. It's like how players, don't technically get paid for the playoffs. At least not to the same extent of their contract. There's a lot of stuff about that with the NHL and how it works come playoff time. A lot of it's stupid as hell. By the way, a shout out to the official Calgary Flames Twitter account for dropping the most passive-aggressive tweet I've ever seen in my goddamn life. My goddamn life. As any of us have seen in our goddamn lives, is what I was going to say. Because Jesus. Parallax scrolling. I hate to say it. I was rooting for Calgary because of Jerome McGinley, but the puck wasn't in. I'm sorry you lost, and your team has sucked ever since. GG. What? So, like I said, for Tampa, there aren't too many talking points because it's not as fun to sit here and immediately dissect the team as they're still literally celebrating their Stanley Cup win. That's not as fun. But, you take a look at the roster. Again, there are going to be casualties on this roster. They are going to have to... I wouldn't be surprised if... in terms of picks, they're boned. They don't have the first, they don't have the second, third. Obviously, because, hey, they've been really good. Like, you gotta get rid of a Tyler Johnson. You gotta get rid of... you probably don't want to get rid of Yanni Gourde. But... Braden Point's due for a big payday at the end of next year. Are you just saying Andre Palat's money's going right to him? They have to move some money off of the books. That defense is set. That top four is disgusting. Jan Ruda, really goddamn good in the role that he played. Like, defensively, they're fine. Goaltending, unless Vasi falls off a cliff, they're fine. It's just you have no cap space, and you have some players to re-sign. So you're probably going to want to pay a little bit. You're going to want to pay the Kraken tax. And I'm sure that they ultimately will. So, yeah, for any Lightning fan who's like, oh, man, I'm expecting salt, as if last year was salt, by again, and I will continue to say this, by again correctly identifying the Lightning as scumbags for celebrating a sports title in the middle of a pandemic while people are dying in hospitals on a daily basis. Oh, but people always die. Not to that rate, they don't, you fuckface. Anyway, yeah, hey, I'm sure the celebration will be nice this time out, too. Although, that's it. Yeah, shout out to those that take the Delta variant seriously. Because that looks like it's a fucking thing now, so that's great. This is never going to end. So, for Tampa, just good stuff. You literally can't fault them. I doubted Andrei Vasilevsky in the past, but, based off of certain numbers, but my God, Andrei Vasilevsky in terms of answering any questions that there were about him, those questions are gone. Again, what is it now? Winning 5 straight series-clinching games. The team hasn't lost back-to-back games in the playoffs since they lost to Columbus. It's unreal. It is absolutely unreal. And a hell of a way for NBC to end their time. That really hasn't sunk in yet. Now, I do want to talk about Montreal as well. Right? I want to talk about Montreal as well really quickly. Because why would I not? And, oh, by the way, there was another lovely tweet of Steve Yzerman unveiling that he is behind the Detroit Red Wings Twitter account. There was another tweet. Oh, there was this tweet first and foremost. Imagine thinking Carey Price was going to win the Conn Smythe if Montreal lost when those were his save percentages in the first 3 games. Well, it's not all about save percentage. It's about high danger chances and how the defense left it. Oh, we're using the defense hung him out to dry excuse again. Cool. I thought Joel Edmondson was good, though. Remember when I said Joel Edmondson was shit and a bunch of Habs fans jumped down my throat saying, no, he's good, and you're just salty he won on the Blues in 2019. Oh, did he make more mistakes tonight? I have to do that real gently because of the stitches in my fucking mouth. Yeah. That said, I do, in case anyone wants to call me a Price hater again, I will refer to this point that I have done nothing but say Carey Price is an A-grade human. At one point was the best goaltender in the world, and I do, and I said this for a reason, In terms of Montreal, and we'll get to more of those tweets. In terms of Montreal having another incredible chance, and I will always stand by this. Pacioretty, Plekanec, Subban, Price, etc., Markov. I truly believe that core could have won a Stanley Cup if Marc Bergevin made the right moves. He didn't. Elected to tear it down. All right, let's see if it works. And it worked. I mean, he fleeced... Max Pacioretty's great, but Nick Suzuki's something else. He did very well in the trades to rebuild that team. The Montreal Canadiens have a phenomenal chance of winning a Stanley Cup in the next couple of years. Marc Bergevin needs to make the right moves. He has draft capital this year. He has a decent amount of cap space to work with this year. You could argue about contracts you'd probably want to get rid of. You know, I mean, Paul Byron was a big-time playoff performer, but 3.4 is a bit too much. How you feeling about those Ben Sherratt and Joel Edmondson deals?
Fanboy. The man was a fanboy.
Remember when you told me those were great contracts, Habs fans? How you feeling about those two deals right now? Oh, but they're physical and they bring... Okay. Okay. So this team, and depending on what happens with Jonathan Drouin as well, and some people did bring this up, the idea of like, oh, do you think they miss Sergachev? And that's not fair. We don't know what the hell is going on with Jonathan Drouin. It's not fair to sit there and say, LOL, if Montreal had Sergachev, what would have happened? That's not fair. I hope Jonathan Drouin as well. This foundation that you see here, obviously Suzuki, Caulfield, Gallagher's there forever and ever. Amen. Looked like he got hurt at the end of the game. That core combined with some of the prospects they already have, and if they continue to develop well, they should win a cup before Carey Price is cooked. And if they don't, I am saying this right now, and it's not exactly a hot take. If Carey Price does not win a Stanley Cup, it's all on Marc Bergevin. And the fact that Carey Price's play has declined. This organization should have won a cup in the last decade. But they did. Hopefully they didn't waste Carey Price's prime. It's obvious he's an amazing playoff performer, but he's also 33 years old. And again, in case you need a reminder, he's not always amazing now, is he? Not always. Not always. Is he? Is he? But Tougie, what about this? Hey, remember when I talked about Carey Price's inconsistency? Remember when I talked about Carey Price's inconsistency at times? You know? And people said, nah, you're just a hater. But, I mean, then you look at this postseason run, and you see, Game 4, for example, phenomenal. Again, the 3 games before that, shit. Final 2 games against Vegas, phenomenal. Oh, look at that. Not so great. Great, great, shit, great, great, shit, great, meh, okay, shit, great, shit, okay, great. Boy, am I a biased Bruins fan for saying that Carey Price is an inconsistent goalie. Save percentage is not the end-all be-all, but it's a factor. So, look, again, for Montreal, I don't hate their hopes moving forward. I don't. Am I laughing my motherfucking ass off that they didn't win? Yes! Yes, I am. Oh, look, here's someone sharing what could be, what could be interpreted as a crying Anderson. Boy, wouldn't that be a shame if when your favorite team loses in the cup final, you get ragged on because one of your favorite players cried when they lost. Boy, wouldn't that be a shame? If that just kind of hung around, right? If that just kind of hung around. The idea of sitting there and taunting somebody in a fan base over and over and over and over again because somebody cried when their team lost the Stanley Cup. Boy, Habs fans, it's a really good thing you didn't tweet any Bruins fans or make any Reddit posts over the past 2 years, right? It's pretty good you didn't make those posts because, boy, there's no way it would be thrown back in your face. There's no way a player crying when they lose the Stanley Cup is going to be thrown back in your face by other fan bases. There's just no way. So I don't know about you guys, but I fully expect to never see this image over the course of the next 2 years. It would just be cruel to Habs fans. And, I think it's bad sportsmanship. And just an example of, like, toxic meme culture. Boy, it's a good thing that nobody, especially myself, will never remind Habs fans of that image. It's crazy. By the way, for, 6 years, pair of back-to-back champions already. But, it's a good thing that, someone like myself won't remember the taunting from Habs fans when the Bruins lost in 2013, when the Bruins lost in 2019. It's a good thing that shit-talking, that friendly, competitive, sports-based shit-talking, isn't gonna come home to roost. But again, Tougie, all you ever do is hate on Carey Price and the Habs. You're a salty, salty hater. This is a phenomenal day. For as long as I've been alive, a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup. Sorry, Flames fans, let's be honest, it wasn't in. For as long as I have been alive, a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup. It's just a phenomenal thing. It's an absolutely phenomenal thing. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, you look at the idea of what could be next for Tampa. There's a chance they could go 3 in a row if they're able to rank the right moves in the postseason. What's next for Montreal? If they make the right moves, Montreal should win a cup within the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think that's out of the question or out of the realm of possibility. And it's for the same reason that I showed when we were talking about the cap friendly. Again, they have draft picks this year to wheel and deal if need be. They have cap space with, some players to sign for sure. The big question is what happens with Philip Deneau. Obviously, Thomas Tatar is gone because they thought it was a good idea to sit somebody. Well, he's not a playoff performer, Tougie. He was still top 4, top 5 minimum in terms of a pure forward talent on that team. The only guys right now I would take ahead of Thomas Tatar are Suzuki, Caulfield, and probably Toffoli. I take Thomas Tatar over Josh Anderson. I take Thomas Tatar over Brendan Gallagher in terms of offensive ability. Complete package for what Galley brings and what Anderson brings. You have an argument there, of course. But, yeah, dumb decision there. I'm intrigued to see, of course, what happens with Philip Deneau and who ends up overpaying the hell out of him. Or overpaying for the hell out of him. Because, yeah, even that sentence didn't make sense. Because he is top 5 defensive forward in the league, minimum. But his point totals are horrific. His production's horrific, so I don't know. Montreal's got a really interesting offseason. Tampa has a really interesting offseason. I'm sure Deej and I will talk about it more on the Tougies Take podcast, which you can watch wherever the hell you want. But, yeah. I'm not surprised at this result. I don't think anybody is. Tampa wins. Montreal loses. Everyone's happy. I'll get shit talked by Habs fans for not having any class. In the words of Steve Dangle. I'll get shit talked by Lightning fans for still being a salty Bruins fan, even though I've done nothing but congratulate them and only called them out for a stupid thing they did last September, which was an incredibly stupid thing. So what are you gonna do? I ain't happy. Well, Anarchy, you're dumb because we got the lesser of 2 evils. We got the lesser of 2 evils. Is Johnson worth something? He's worth being paired with a 3rd-round pick plus to send to Seattle. Because I'm sorry, with his injury history, ain't nobody paying. Ain't nobody paying for, ain't nobody paying for Tyler Johnson. So, at the end of the day, I will wrap up this little sort of mini rant. It's not quite as rant heavy as it was when the Bruins got eliminated. Congrats to the Tampa Bay Lightning, to their fans. Hey, if you got the vaccine, go fucking party, dog. Granted, you might want to, again, be careful because of the Delta variant and not wanting to die. But hey, if you want to risk it for a parade, go ahead. I would totally be right there if it were me. Totally. You got me. You didn't, but you're fucking stupid. It's fine. Yeah, Warrior, thank you for the 3 years, by the way. Totally missed it. You should know better not to resub mid-rant. You should know this. Should know this. And one final LOL to people who thought that that Carey Price was going to win the Conn Smythe if his team lost. And one final LOL to every Habs fan that posted the crying Marchand meme. How's karma feel, fuckers? How's it feel? Feels good, doesn't it? It does feel good. Mm-hmm.